Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the JPATGFX 100 at Oswego Speedway for the NSR Challenge Series presented by IgniteSRN. We are live on Ignite Sim Racing Network, and we thank you all for joining us here on this lovely evening at the virtual Oswego Speedway. My name is Josh Patterson. I'm going to be your commentator here tonight. We've got a long 100 laps in front of us here at this beautiful racetrack. Just under 7.5 minutes left of practice here for tonight's event. These guys in the dirt street stock, in the iRacing dirt street stock, making their way around the track. We've got some familiar names, but also some guys we haven't seen before here joining us for the first time. So gonna put on a show, gonna be a show, and gonna be putting on a great race for us to watch tonight. As we see the fastest lap times currently, Jordan Gage up top, familiar face to the top of the charts. Jeremy Sexton in second, Jim Revis rounding out your top three, 21.068, your fast lap as of right now. As we see Devin Fernandez currently going around the racetrack in the half machine. Bit of a peculiar number on that race car, but always love to see the creativity out of these guys here in the Dirt Street Stock Series. Another interesting number, I don't believe he's on the track, but Ethan Harrison in the 77 ball car, as you can see on the ticker there. The pool ball looking 77. So yeah, like I mentioned, a lot of guys who we haven't seen race here yet with us in the NSR Challenge Series, such as Devin Fernandez and Steven Stefanski and Ethan Harrison and a couple others who are just joining us for the first time tonight. So, going to be a good race. Before we get into that and finish up practice here, we'll take a look at your track info. We are here at Oswego Speedway, home of the Super Modifieds, in Oswego, New York, USA. Length is half a mile. Configuration, we are on the dirt oval tonight. These guys typically are known for racing the asphalt oval. They're in Super Modifieds and many other various forms of racing, but for Super Dirt Week, once a year, they throw dirt on this half-mile speedway, and we go dirt racing, mostly in the big block modifieds, since we are up here in New York. So these guys able to put some dirt on this racetrack, and that was scanned here in iRacing. So we were able to run that. 4 turns around this oval, obviously, and an altitude of 385 feet above sea level. 4.5 minutes left of practice. Jordan Gage still sitting up top, but here we're seeing our second place driver in the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton. See him make some laps around this racetrack. We'll actually get an onboard camera of that race car, so all you viewers at home can see what it's like from in the cockpit, as he's actually going to pull off the track as soon as we take a look at him. But Jordan Gage is on track. He's on the top of the time sheet at the moment. So we can see very bumpy track indeed, since it's usually an asphalt oval. Putting dirt over it isn't quite the most natural feeling of racetracks. And you can really see that in the behavior of these race cars. As you can see, Gage goes into the corner. That thing is rocking like a baby. A lullaby there, and yeah, getting a lot of bumps through really around this entire racetrack, through both turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You're going to find that the inside wall is a bit of the enemy there as Gage hits it and now ducks down, pulls off. But still on top of the charts by almost 1/10 of a second, so great lap for him as these guys just finishing up their practice here. Devin Fernandez here, sponsored by DWR Race Team. Revive Wheel Repair is a former outlaw kart driver out here in the dirt street stock, getting some laps in. We appreciate him joining us tonight and running with us here in the NSR Challenge Series. But yeah, like I mentioned before, going to be a good race tonight, as I see a couple drivers now in Group 2 making some laps. Some guys who just joined us here in the session. You got James Ellington, Brian Wells, Derek Rice, all making laps down in this second session. Last week's winner, I don't believe I see him in here quite yet. Ethan Johnson, not sure if he's going to make an appearance, but was able to get the win over another guy who I'm not seeing on the time charts yet, Dustin Hennigan. So not too sure if either of them are showing, but in their place we've got T-Jack, Tyler Jackson. He's always fast in these dirt street stocks. Not quite showing it quite yet in this practice session, so it seemed like he joined a little later than everyone else, so the track has been slicked off a little bit since the first guys are in their laps. There's our 77 ball scheme. Ethan Harrison in the 77 ball. He's got peculiar looking paint scheme on that thing, but definitely going to be whipping it around tonight. So looking forward to seeing these guys out on track. Seth Castle just loaded into the session. He's going to be joining us. There's Derek Rice in the 357, as he's going to pull it off as well. Let's see, who do we got here? Ron Mertens in the 04 is his first time joining us here in the NSR Challenge Series. He's from Kathleen, Georgia, and he is just here for fun. So we're just here for fun too, Ron. So looking forward to having you out here on the racetrack, as we got 20 seconds left of practice here, and then we're going to roll into our qualifying session. 2 laps, I believe 5 minutes for each of these drivers, and then into heat races, followed by our 100-lap feature. Now, there is money being put up for the winner and the top 3 tonight, as well as some other various bonus prizes throughout the field, varying from random draw spot to hard charger, and a couple other rewards throughout the field. So appreciate all of our sponsors here. As we're going to see practice finishing up, and we're going to get qualifying right underway. 5 minutes of qualifying here at the Oswego Speedway. We're going to see who goes out onto the track first. Looks like Ron Mertens getting ready to run, and there he goes. Both Mertens and Steven Stefanski going out on the racetrack. So we'll pull up the ticker here so we can see these guys' lap times as they run. Steven Stefanski going to be the first driver to hit the start-finish line and begin his first lap here around this half-mile speedway. And currently, it seems like the bottom is the line to be in as of right now. This track will move around, though, as it's slicked off. Stefanski's actually going to run the middle through 3 and 4 on that first lap here, and he's going to get off of that turn number 4 and go quick time for the moment. 22.368. Going to be your fast time for now. He's going to be about a tenth quicker than Ron Mertens, as this is the only 2 who have put down laps. And we'll see, it's going to be Devin Fernandez. He's in turn number 2. He will go quick time with a 22.037. Great lap out of the half machine there. Bright yellow and gold. Beautiful looking race car. Evan Monaghan's going to go second in the 13E. Love the look of this car, too. That's got that vintage classic look. Something you'd find at a real dirt racetrack that you'd go to on your local Saturday night. Fernandez is still going to be your pole sitter for now with a 22.007. He will improve. As I see Justin Johnson going around. I see he ran a purple sector. He's going to just go second with a 22.022, just barely behind Fernandez. Justin Johnson will go to P2. As he makes his way around turns number 3 and 4. He's going to be in a bit of a different line than we saw earlier, all the way up on that topside cushion. Getting a huge run off the corner here. We'll see if it pays off for him. And it does. Justin Johnson, quick time. 21.979 puts him on the pole position. You can see Derek Rice trying to do the same thing as Tyler Jackson. T-Jack goes to the pole with actually an identical lap time. Both of those two drivers, both Jackson and Johnson, are in a 21.979, inseparable between those two up at the front. Second lap is not going to be quicker, but as of now, it does not matter for T-Jack. He's going to still sit on the pole position. Derek Rice will go P10 on the board now. Here comes Jordan Gage out of pit road. He's going to try the high side. He's going to try his hand at getting the pole position here. And that blue, green, white, and black machine. Sponsored by Cocky Floyd Consulting, Get a Bumper Motorsports, Gage Farms, JPATGFX. From Hornick, Iowa. In that 05 machine. He's going to reset before he gets that lap time in. We're going to look at Jeremy Sexton in the 2020. Sexton, sponsored by Cocky Floyd Consulting, Sexton Home Maintenance Solutions, and JPATGFX dirt street stock there. In the black, blue, and gold dirt street stock. Going to make his way around the high side in turns 3 and 4. He's going to put down a 22.07. Now we've got a tie for the pole and a tie for third. It's going to clock him actually at a 22.008, so just 1/1000 slower than the half machine. James Ellington going to go to the pole. Quick time for James Ellington with a 21.954. Great lap out of the 17 machine. That's cable guy James Ellington in the Ellington Construction Company, Doghouse Chassis, Cocky Floyd Consulting, Eber Beaver Sawmill Co., MKR Fabrications, JPATGFX, number 17. He's going to get topped by the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton. Sexton goes with a 21.936. I believe that's going to be, we're going to see Seth Castle is going to be our last driver out on the racetrack. He will stay in P12. And Brian Walls will not improve either. That's going to be your qualifying session. 18 drivers here tonight. And looking like we'll see a heck of a race. So, heat number 1. We'll get to our starting grid. On the pole position is going to be the 2020 of Jeremy Sexton. To his outside, the 8 of Tyler Jackson. Row 2 is going to be Jordan Gage in the 05. Starting next to him, Brian Wells in the 86. Row 3 is going to be Jim Revis in the 57. To his outside is Ken Atha in the 711. Row 4 going to be William Hargraves in the 71. Ron Mertens to his outside in the 4. And final car in the first heat race is going to be the 77 ball of Ethan Harrison. Ten laps here in each of our heat races. Here tonight, I believe we will have 2 of them. As Jeremy Sexton, Tyler Jackson going to roll off P1 and 2. Going to be a dogfight up at the front of the field. This is a loaded heat race. A lot of really, really quick guys. Even back deep in this one, we saw Hargraves, who starts P7 in this, take home third place last week. So look for him to make another run through the field here in the 71. Especially in this heat race, it is essential to start up front in the feature event. So we'll see who's able to do that as it's going to be Jeremy Sexton, Tyler Ryan coming around turns 3 and 4 and going to take, oh, not quite. Pace car is still out there. They let it roll away from him a little bit. We'll go to one more lap pacing. My mistake. As yeah, like I mentioned, we really do have a stacked field. 10 laps is a bit of a longer racetrack for these dirt straight stocks, so 10 laps here is going to feel a little longer than 10 laps, say, at a place, say, like I-55 or Cedar Lake. These guys have a little more time to negotiate each other here with these longer heat races. Going to be a very long feature with the whole 100 laps awaiting these drivers, as here they come for real this time. Jeremy Sexton, Tyler Jackson coming around turn 4. Jeremy Sexton's going to launch. Green flag is out for our first heat race of the night here at Oswego. Sexton's going to be able to pull away early in this one. He's going to get a gap, actually brush onto the outside wall. It's going to be side-by-side for second between T-Jack and Jordan Gage. I believe Jackson's going to be able to pull away and clear Gage, and now Brian Wells looks to take advantage of the 05 as well. Gage is going to run the bottom. Wells on the outside. Looks like Wells is going to get the run. Sexton's going to throw a block on T-Jack as the 8 of Jackson looks to the top side, not going to get it. Still bumper to bumper now here on lap 3. As Sexton will lead another one. Jackson's going to be up on the outside wall looking to get a run on the back bumper of Sexton. Not quite going to work out this time by, but staying very, very close. Now they go a little side by side as they get into the corner there. Not going to be enough. That outside really humming for these drivers right now. Going to be hard to get around other drivers right now for these guys, as I don't think the slider is going to be as much of an effect here, at least not in the heat race. But Sexton able to hold on and start pulling away a little bit of a gap here on Tyler Jackson. Jackson still sits in second place, almost gets into the back bumper of the 2020 there up in front. Not going to do it. They're going to stay close. Here comes Tyler Jackson to the inside, going to get to the bottom, try to throw a slide job, not going to work. Wells gets into the wall behind him. They're going to go side by side out of the corner. Sexton with a run on the outside. Not quite going to clear him. Here comes T-Jack on the bottom. He's going to get the nose clear. Going to go side by side. Make a little bit of contact there. Racing hard for this heat race win. They come back to the line. We're halfway this heat race. Lap 6 of 10. 5 to go. Wells is going to get into the outside wall. Trying to get around the outside of T-Jack. T-Jack not going to let him have the lane, as he wants to stay in second place. He wants to have a shot at Sexton to start on pole for the feature event. As here comes the run. 2020 doesn't slide up as far as the other two. We're going to have the 8 go to the top side. It's 86 right behind him. Side by side through the corner is T-Jack and Brian Wells. They're still going to be side by side coming out of the corner. Looks like Wells trying to generate a run on the inside there. Not quite going to work. Heck of a battle up here for the lead. And it's going to be back, single file. A little further back, we have lost Jordan Gage. He is way back in the field, all the way back to P9. Not entirely sure what happened there. But the rest of the field cycling out to be Ken Atha, Jim Revis, William Hargraves, Ethan Harrison, Ron Mertens, and then the aforementioned Jordan Gage. Now T-Jack going to look to the outside, going to get there, just a little bit of contact. They will keep it straight though. Sexton doing a great job holding off these two, what seem to be faster cars right behind him right now. As Tyler Jackson, Brian Wells both looking like they've had big runs at this point. But Sexton says, "You shall not pass," and keeps them behind. We're going to take the white flag here for heat number 1 here at Oswego. Sexton's going to be in the lead. Jackson's going to go up to the top and try to get a run coming off the top. Not quite going to work. Sexton will throw a slider, slide himself. Jackson's going to try to look back low. He blinks out. They're going to come side by side back to the line. A little bit of contact. It's going to be Jeremy Sexton, your heat race winner. Heat race number 1 goes to Sexton. Second place, Tyler Jackson. Third, Brian Wells. Fourth, Kenneth Atha. Fifth, Jim Revis. Sixth, William Hargraves. Seventh, Ethan Harrison. Eighth, Ron Mertens. And rounding out your heat race, Jordan Gage. Heck of a heat race to start them off here. as we're immediately going to go to your second heat race of 2 here tonight. And we'll take a look at your starting lineup. Here in this second heat race, it's going to be James Ellington on pole for the second heat race. Justin Johnson's going to be sitting to his outside. Devin Fernandez will start in P3 in the half machine. Tyler Ryan will start in 4th. Evan Monaghan to his inside behind. It will be inside of row 3 starting in P5. Seth Castle is going to be 6th place in the second heat race. Steven Stefanski going to start on the inside of row 4. Derek Rice to his outside. And final car in the second heat is going to be Thomas Davis in the 22. I don't believe he is gridded, however, so we will stick to the 8 cars in this heat race. Going to be another stout field here tonight. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, I don't see either of the top 2 finishers from last week at last race at Lernerville in this session tonight. Ethan Johnson, Dustin Hennigan, neither of them showing. So that will leave room for another driver to come in and get the win here tonight. We saw Jeremy Sexton take home the win 2 races ago at Eldora. Seeing that he's starting pole tonight, going to be in a prime position to do so again here at Oswego for the JPATGFX 100. These drivers coming around turns 3 and 4 for the final time under yellow in this heat race. James Ellington, Justin Johnson going to be your front row. Ellington's going to hit the loud pedal. They're going to go fire off turn 4, and we are green flag racing here in heat number 2. We're going to be side by side going down into turn 1. Already aggressive from Justin Johnson trying to get to the outside. It slams the wall. Big hit. They're going to stack them up like crazy behind. We're going to somehow keep it straight. Great save from all of these drivers. It's going to be Ellington still in the race lead. Devin Fernandez clears to 2nd in all that mess, and Monaghan will get up to P3. Justin Johnson, after seeming like he was able to keep it side by side with Ellington going into turn 1, falls all the way back to P4. And here comes Devin Fernandez on a move for the lead. The half machine shoots down to the bottom. Going to turn down low, maybe throw for a slide job. Doesn't. Gets side by side, almost makes contact with the 17 of Ellington. Ellington's going to stay to the outside and pull back to the race lead. Justin Johnson there in 4th is going to set your fastest lap so far, as still a lot of ground for him to make up if he wants to get back to a front end starting position for your feature event. It's going to be Ellington, Fernandez, Monaghan, and Johnson, seeming like they're kind of breaking away from the field right now. Tyler Ryan, your first car out of that front little pack. Ellington's going to run a bit of a different line on this corner, trying to try stuff out. It seems like it's going to work out for him a little bit, as he's going to pull a little bit of a gap on Devin Fernandez. Ooh, he's got to be careful running that line, though. If he tries to diamond his exit like that, he's going to get run over from the half machine. With that, you're getting such a big run off the corner from the top, but if the driver behind you comes in with a head of steam and doesn't realize that you're turning down the track like that, it could spell an end to your run up in front. Not quite an end to this run, though, as James Ellington's still sitting out front by almost 0.4 of a second now, as him and Fernandez have pulled themselves a little bit of a gap on Evan Monaghan now, as Justin Johnson is hounding the back bumper of that 13E. Not quite able to get around or really make a good move yet, but these two battling, or at least running close to each other, is allowing the 12 or the half and the 17 to be able to pull away. As we see, Ellington's going to shoot back down to the bottom, running that riskier line, diamonding low. It seems like it's picking up in popularity throughout the rest of the field, as you see a couple drivers now following him and doing the same thing. As now Fernandez is going to go to the bottom as we have 2 laps to go on this heat race. They're going to go side by side, and Fernandez is actually able to get a really nice run through turn 1. That might be able to open him up to a move there. Ellington goes down to try to block any kind of slider. Going to actually overshoot it a little bit, get himself sideways, going to hold on to it. Still get a run coming out. We're going to be white flag now. 1 lap to go here in heat race number 2. They're going to go side by side back through turn 1. And Fernandez is going to clear Ellington. Ellington shoot back to the bottom. Heck of a battle for the lead here. Half a lap to go. Ellington now with the nose in front, going to slide up in front of the half machine. Fernandez going to turn back down the racetrack. They're going to be side by side. Coming back to the line. It's going to be a photo finish. And I believe it was Devin Fernandez going to be your heat race winner by 18 thousandths of a second over James Ellington in P2. Evan Monaghan, Justin Johnson, Tyler Ryan, Seth Castle, Derek Rice, Steven Stefanski, and Thomas Davis rounding out your field in one heck of a heat race. Now, I believe we're going to have a B main here, so it seems. I'm almost positive that you'll see all of these drivers transfer to the A main. So we saw the top 4 out of the respective heat races go on. They will not qualify for this B main. They'll go straight to the A main feature event. Everyone else is going to have to run 15 laps here for a B main. We're going to take a look at your starting grid for this B main. It's going to be Jim Revis on the pole in the 57 machine. Tyler Ryan to his outside in the 47. William Hargraves going to sit on the inside of row 2. Seth Castle, who did not grid, going to sit in P4. Ethan Harrison in the 77 ball is going to sit P5 in this B main. Derek Rice to his outside in 6th. Ron Mertens going to sit P7 inside of row 4. Outside of row 4 is going to be Steven Stefanski. And your final row here is going to be Jordan Gage and Thomas Davis. Rounding out your B main. Gage doesn't have the heat race that he would have wanted. He's one of those guys who we expect to be competing up in the front, looking for wins week in, week out. So not the run he would have wanted so far. We're going to look to see him go through this B main field, try to get him up to the front. We're going to have one more pacing lap before we go green for 15 laps here in the B main. Pace car is going to pull down to the inside, go back to the pit road where it should stay. Jim Revis, Tyler Ryan, going to be side by side. Coming through turns 3 and 4, they're going to launch. Revis is going to get a good restart to the inside. They're going to launch. We're going to go B main racing, 15 laps here at Oswego. Revis is going to be able to clear up to the top. Hargraves immediately shoots down to the bottom, actually gets around Tyler Ryan. Ryan not going to be able to do anything to combat that on the top side, at least not quite yet. As here comes William Hargraves to the bottom. Going to try to make a move on the 57 of Jim Revis. Teammates there for Dirt Warriors Racing. As they're going to come down the back straightaway. Still side by side between the top 2. Hargraves able to make that bottom work, and look who else is making the bottom work. Jordan Gage from all the way back in last, already up to P4. Huge run through this B main already for the 05 machine. Jordan Gage, speaking of which, is going to set your fastest lap of the race already. Hargraves, Revis still side by side here on lap number 3 of 15. Ryan trying to hold on to the back bumper of Revis as Hargraves looks like he's going to try to clear, and he is going to get clear of Revis. We're going to have a new race leader here in the B main, and it looks like maybe a new second place driver as well. Jordan Gage already hounding the back bumper of that 71 machine. They're still going to be side by side. Revis trying to find some grip up on that top side, not going to work. It looks like Hargraves is going to get clear. running that bottom line. Actually misses the groove a little bit there. Is going to allow Gage to look to the bottom of him. But Hargraves will clear up in front of Jim Revis. He is going to be your race leader now, as that bottom seems to be coming in really nice. We're going to go 3 wide for second. Tyler Ryan with a big run of Jim Revis outside. Going to be contact. Jim Revis is going to go for a spin and gets plowed into the back by Ron Mertens. Unfortunate scenes for the 57 machine, as we're going to continue on battling. It seemed like, looking in the moment, it looked like 3 cars going for 1 lane. As I know Revis is a guy who doesn't run with his mirror on in these races, likes to make it as realistic as possible, which is really great to see in the iRacing service, but I'm sure that led to that collision there. Revis wasn't able to see Ryan coming up on the back bumper of him. Ryan not expecting Jim to come up, and looks like both drivers kind of collided, going for the same real estate there, which is unfortunate to see in a heat race, but luckily everyone, or a B main, sorry, everyone moves on though, as Hargraves able to leg out a bit of a gap here as we're halfway in this B main. Gage not quite able to generate the same amount of speed, at least not yet. A huge run through 3 and 4 as soon as I say that. And he goes from a couple car lengths back to side by side. Holy cow, and he breaks. Oh man, what a shame. Jordan Gage ramps off of the back right tire of William Hargraves. Another one of those racing deals, it seems. And Gage goes flying, knocks the left front right off the race car, and is going to have to settle for another last place finish. That's going to put him in a deep, deep starting spot here in the feature. 100 laps, though, going to be more than enough time for him to make up that ground, but he will be starting P16 tonight. We're going to have 5 laps to go. It's going to be William Hargraves still up front. Tyler Ryan trying to make something stick on the bottom there. It's going to be a battle for third place between Derek Rice and Steven Stefanski. Both of those drivers trying to make something happen, trying to get one more starting spot. Going to be beneficial to both of them as they're battling for what will become the 11th starting spot. One of these drivers, as long as they don't wreck, will start 11th. One of them will start 12th. Steven Stefanski all over the back bumper of that 357, and Derek Rice trying to make it happen here. Hargraves, in the meantime, able to pull a pretty sizable gap over the 47 of Tyler Ryan. Hargraves looking like he's going to put himself in good shape to win this B main. Just 2.5 laps to go now as they go down the backstretch. And yeah, he's pulled nearly a second now on the 47. Looks like there's going to be no one standing in his way of this B main win. Steven Stefanski, in the meantime, gets around the outside of Derek Rice. Going to be able to move up into the 3rd place spot. And if he's quick enough here with just 2 laps to go, might be able to have himself a shot at Tyler Ryan. As actually is gaining quite well now as we hit the white flag. 1 lap to go. William Hargraves going to be in a great spot here with a 2.5 lead. Battle is, I thought was on for second, but it seems like Stefanski is going to be a little bit too far back to make something work in this final corner. Hargraves going to keep the car really straight through 3 and 4, and William Hargraves is going to be your B main winner here at Oswego. Tyler Ryan will come home in 2nd, Steven Stefanski 3rd, Derek Rice 4th, Jim Revis 5th, Ron Mertens 6th, and Ethan Harrison, Jordan Gage 7th and 8th. Neither of them getting to the line in this one. And now we have 3 minutes of warm-up here at Oswego. These drivers able to take a little bit of time to familiarize themselves with the racetrack here and with the the grooves and the current state the track is in. We'll watch these guys go around, put down a couple practice laps, and maybe run in the track a little bit. Obviously, it is a dirt track. Starts off quite tacky, and then as the drivers put down rubber, it'll get slick off, and cause the track to move around, get off of that bottom line, as we saw a little bit there through that heat race cycle. And if it cycles like it did in that those heat races, we'll be on for a good race tonight. It seems like Jordan Gage dragging around his front bumper. Tyler Jackson's going to go to the top of the boards currently with a 21.374. And in famous T-Jack fashion, going to be blinking out while doing so. Hargraves, who we saw win that B main, going to go second on the charts temporarily. Fernandez actually going to pass him as soon as I mention it, but yeah, we'll go on board here with William Hargraves, see how he's able to get around this racetrack from the roll bar cam. We see him dealing with some traffic in the form of the 57 of Jim Revis and the 711 of Ken Atha. But yeah, he's so gingered down on the bottom there. Really doing a lot of work to keep that car as straight as possible. And you can see that he's doing that better than anyone else is right now. That's why he was able to win that B main and why he's so fast here in the warm-up. So you see these drivers making a couple more laps around this racetrack with just 15 seconds to go here in the warm-up, getting themselves ready to go racing in this feature race. As I've mentioned probably one too many times now at this point, we have 100 laps around this half-mile dirt oval here in Oswego, New York. So going to be a heck of a show here tonight. 18 cars, hopefully to grid. I believe we'll have at least 16 on the grid here tonight, as practice warm-up is going to be done. We're going to get to your feature race and your feature race lineup. On the pole here tonight for your 100-lap feature race is going to be Jeremy Sexton in the 2020. To his outside, going to be the half car of Devin Fernandez. Row 2 is going to be Tyler Jackson in the Selena 52 Truck Stop Dirt Street Stock. And to his outside, James Ellington in the 17. Row 3 is going to be Evan Monaghan on the outside in P6 and Brian Wells in P5. Row 4 is going to be Ken Atha in the 711, Justin Johnson in P8. Row 5 is going to be William Hargraves on the inside and Tyler Ryan to his outside. Row 6, Steven Stefanski starts P11. Derek Rice will start P12 after that battle there in the B main. Row 7 is going to be Jim Revis in P13, Ron Mertens in 14th. Then you're going to have Ethan Harrison starting in 15th with Jordan Gage on his outside in P16. And I believe those are the final cars gridded for tonight. But we also have Seth Castle and Thomas Davis in 17th and 18th. Take a look quick at your race information. 100 laps here, 50 miles here around the Oswego Speedway. Track temp currently a bit of a colder one, only 62 degrees track temp. 18 cars in this race here tonight. Strength of field 3768. An absolutely stacked field of racing drivers here tonight. And then game time of 8:10 p.m. Jeremy Sexton and Devin Fernandez going to be side by side. Going to be launching off of turn number 4. Jeremy Sexton going to go to the lead and take the green flag for 100 laps here in the JPATGFX 100 at Oswego Speedway. Tyler Jackson going to make quick work of Devin Fernandez. Going to go very quickly up into your second place position. Fernandez not able to do anything quite yet to challenge the 8 machine, so he will fall back into P3 as it's going to be the 2020 of Sexton and the 8 of T-Jack. Going to be battling now for the lead just like we saw them there in the first heat race. These two are going to put on a show tonight. Sexton and Jackson running 1 and 2 still. To the bottom, everyone now around the bottom other than a couple stragglers such as James Ellington there. Back in P6, trying to make something work on the high side. Not quite working as of yet. But these two really making a lot of time on the bottom as Fernandez has now fallen quite a few car lengths behind and Wells even further back still. Now, it's still very, very early in this very long race. They're 3 wide behind them. A little bit of contact there. Justin Johnson in between William Hargraves, James Ellington. Ellington is going to pull around the outside there. Hargraves going to pull through on the bottom. Everyone seems to be single filing out pretty early in this one. As the Tyler Ryan, Ken Atha side by side. Those two seeming like they are the final battle on the speedway currently, as Atha seems to be losing a couple spots. And like I mentioned before, Jordan Gage started deep in his B main, made it up far, and then had the one little mistake that cost him everything. Gonna see if he's gonna do the same thing here now that we're in the feature race. 100 laps. Long time for him to try to get it done. But we already sit 7 laps in, and he has moved up 3 spots. Jeremy Sexton going to still be your race leader. I believe I just saw Jim Revis pull off of the racetrack as we switched off of that camera shot. So Revis in the 57. Oh, it's actually going to be a yellow flag. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Let's get a replay. So we were watching him and Gage battle there for, I believe it was the 12th place spot at the time. Gage was able to get up to the outside of Revis. Oh, actually gets into the back of him. Honestly, a masterful job from Jim Revis of not getting into the wall there harder than he did. Turns it back onto the racetrack, causes a yellow, but I believe he had some pretty good reason to cause that yellow as he got spun and nearly got his head taken off by that very intrusive barrier, but avoids it by taking the pit access road, turns it back around, and stays alive in this one. We go back up to your race leaders here, as everyone looking like they're ready to go already. No one wanting to waste any time here getting back to the green flag. Pace car has other ideas. They're going to stay out for an additional lap. But I believe it will turn its lights off this time by. It does, so we will be going back green flag racing here in just 1 lap's time. Seen some pretty good racing already out of these front two, but now that they're side by side, and Jackson's going to be able to have a legitimate shot at getting around Sexton on this restart here. We got a really good restart last time around. Was able to get around Fernandez, but now there is no Fernandez between the two of them. So they're going to come around turn 3 and 4. We're going to see Jeremy Sexton on the inside, Tyler Jackson on the outside. Sexton is going to launch, and we're going to go back green flag racing here on lap number 9. Sexton able to get a nice launch. T-Jack going to go up to the top line, try to get a run off of the top. Not quite going to work the way he was hoping it would, as that'll allow Jeremy Sexton to pull a couple car length gap. As looks like drivers are searching now, looking to get away from that bottom line. As they're 3 wide for P3. And Brian Wells all the way to the top, Devin Fernandez on the bottom, and your B main winner, William Hargraves, potentially already looking at P3, coming from 9th. That is an impressive run so far out of that 71 machine, and just proving why he deserves to be up at the front of this race field. Brian Wells still able to make some room, some speed up there on the top, able to hold off the hard-charging 71 machine, but doesn't seem like for long. If Hargrave's able to make the speed he's making down there on the bottom and keep moving up in the way he's shown he's able to, I find it hard to believe that Wells is going to be able to stay in front of him. They're going to go 3 wide again behind him, only temporarily that time, as Justin Johnson got 3 wide there with Fernandez and Ellington. Going to be able to sort it out. All 3 of those drivers very clean, so not expecting a ton of chaos from those guys, but we're going to see Hargraves a little up front, get around Wells, at least temporarily. He's going to fully clear him there. 71 going to move up into your P3, already a 9-3 run out of that 71 machine. Very impressive to start off this race. Tyler Jackson going to move to the outside, try to make some speed up there on the top. Saw a car, I believe that was the 77 ball, get loose in the background. However, he will manage to keep it straight there. Will stay green. There's Tyler Jackson blinking out here and there. I've heard rumors throughout the community that his blinking is allows him to save more tires than everyone else. Not sure the validity on that, but definitely blinking a little bit more than the competition here as we sit on lap 15. Here comes William Hargraves to the inside, going to be looking to get around T-Jack in the 8, as it seems like the gap up front is just shrinking and shrinking. Hard to tell where that 8 car is going to be because he's out of the race so much. So these drivers around him trying to predict where that car will be. Jackson, a very predictable driver, though. So not like he's going to be swerving all over the place, but actually obviously a very quick driver too, as he is going to shoot to the outside and get around to 2020 of Jeremy Sexton. Tyler Jackson going to go to the race lead. Blink out in the process of doing so. Jackson will fully clear the 2020, and he will be your new race leader. Wells trying to fight the 71 on the high side. Wells wants to get that 3rd place spot back. Looks like he is going to get his nose clear at the very least so far. And we are going to get a caution flag. It's going to be Ethan Harrison in the 77 ball, causing our 2nd yellow. Not entirely sure what happened there. We did see the 77 around on the racetrack. He goes through turns 3 and 4, gets into the outside wall, gets into it again, and gets into the side of the 7-11. Throws himself for a bit of a loop. That's a tough one there. Bit of an innocent spin. I believe he just caught the wall a little too much with that right rear tire. Goes for a spin, but not a whole lot of damage on that 77 ball. So he will be able to continue here tonight. We'll go back up to the front of the field. Obviously, none of these drivers coming down the pit road. There's no real purpose of that here in the dirt street stock. I believe the only thing that can be added is fuel. Or maybe not. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. No, you can't even add fuel in these things. Can't add fuel, can't change tires. The only thing you're doing by going down pit road is losing time. So all these drivers will stay out. I believe we'll have one more lap under this caution flag. $18 laps down so far of the 100 scheduled for tonight. Pace truck will pull down back to the pit lane. And we're going to see these guys prepare to go green flag racing again. T-Jack doing a strategic blink to get a good restart. He'll launch very early to go back green flag racing here on lap number 18. Disappears, comes back in. Looks like he got a pretty good start. I'm not really too sure. Having a little bit of internet connection issues up in that number 8 machine, but 2020 Jeremy Sexton is going to clear for second. Devin Fernandez in the 1/2 machine is going to get to the inside of William Hargraves, going to look to the inside of Brian Wells as well. Not going to go anywhere quite yet with that, but gets next to the 86 machine. 86 is going to get a run off the corner though. Jeremy Sexton still running in P2. Has lost a little bit of time to T-Jack Tyler Jackson. Jackson up on the top there. Able to pull quite a gap over these guys. Not sure how much tire he's expending by running up front like that. I would focus on him a little more, but the amount that he's lagging right now, not quite able to. So we'll look at your third place battle, which is going to be Devin Fernandez getting around the 86 of Brian Wells. He will get fully clear and go up to that third place spot there in the half machine. Wells all the way on that outside wall. Outside seems to be going away. A lot of drivers up there running it, but pushing the cushion further and further up the racetrack. As they're going to be side by side for third place. Oh, Wells gets into the outside wall hard. Gets very sideways. James Ellington going to shoot through the middle, 3 wide. Clears both Wells and Hargraves. Heck of a move from that 17 machine to take over P4. And that relinquishes any pressure that Fernandez has. Fernandez turns around and says, pressure? I'll put some pressure on you, Jeremy Sexton. Here comes Fernandez for second. Going to be side by side going down the front stretch. Almost a little contact. Sexton runs him tight there on the entry of turn number 1. As Sexton up high, Fernandez down low. William Hargraves spinning in the back. Going to hold on to it. Very close to a full spin and a caution. But everyone manages to keep it clean. So we will stay green flag. It's back up to the front. Battle still rages on for second. Fernandez going to get up into second place spot. Sexton will be third. JPAT Graphics 100 here. The top 7 are JPAT Graphics customers. At a time, not all of them in JPAT Graphics paint schemes, but all customers. So great representation here in the JPAT Graphics 100 as we sit here on lap number 27. Tyler Jackson able to make some ground up on the field running that top line, but Devin Fernandez looking to try to track him down there on the bottom. Fernandez getting around the bottom really well right now, throwing a bit of a diamond line there in turns 1 and 2. shooting down into the bottom of turn 1, then sliding up above the slick and shooting back down underneath it on corner exit. Working for him right now, staying about even with T-Jack with 29 laps, or on lap 29, 28 laps completed. So we'll look back through the field a little bit. No one in a very intense battle right now. Tyler Ryan and Steven Stefanski going at it side by side. That is the best battle on the field. Ryan will get into the outside wall there momentarily, but holds on to P7 as now he loses it. Steven Stefanski going to get a good run on the bottom. Here comes Jordan Gage as well. He's got a bit of damage just about everywhere. Front end's knocked in, back end's knocked off, but still finds himself all the way up in 9th place after falling way back there on that initial run. So still a 3-car battle there for, I believe that is P6, as Justin Johnson holding on to P6 currently. Steven Stefanski, Tyler Ryan going toe-to-toe for 7th. As you see, 3 wide back there for, I believe that's 12th. Ken Atha goes up. William Hargraves, tough deal after that half spin there. Loses a ton of ground. Finds himself way back in 14th position. Gonna need a couple yellows, a lot of luck, and he's got the speed to do it, but sitting way back in the field right now. Gonna be tough sledding for the rest of the race for that 71 machine. Tyler Jackson able to pull out more and more of that race lead. Sits right around 7/10, 8/10 now as we go down the front straightaway. Devin Fernandez able to find some time on the rest of the field. Not able to find enough time to catch up there to Tyler Jackson. So he currently sits in 2nd on a bit of an island. Jeremy Sexton there in P3. Not much he can do either. He's on a bit of an island as well, as his field is spreading out quite well at the moment. James Ellington sitting in 4th on an island of his own, and this is Brian Wells in P5. Going to be side by side for 6th. Steven Stefanski really making up some time here as the laps tick on. He's going to get to the inside and almost clear that 38 of Justin Johnson. Not quite going to be able to make it happen, at least not yet. As a big wreck behind, Jordan Gage goes for a spin, and there's the yellow flag. Gage is having a nightmare night. Not the night he would have wanted in that 05 machine. Gets involved in another incident here. Let's take a replay. So what I believe I saw there, looked like he just got into the outside wall, clipped the right rear against the outside wall. We've seen it a couple times tonight. And clips it, yeah, a bit too hard, catches the opening, and finds himself actually in the catch fence there with some help from the cushion. Not sure if that car is salvageable here, but we will see as he will pace around the racetrack. We'll get one more view of that, Rick. I'd like to point out, see if we can get a view of the actual spot that these drivers are hitting. There's a bit of a fence right there, and if you hit it just wrong, as you can see he did there, that's what we saw catch the 77 ball of Ethan Harrison and now the 05 Jordan Gage. Both of them suffering the same fate with the outside fence there, but I believe both able to keep going. As yeah, I see Jordan Gage in the back of the field there. So he's able to continue his race, see if he can maybe pick it up a little bit and start getting through the field once again. As we're going to go 1 lap to green once again here. Pace cars, lights are going to be off. And now Now the pace truck will dip back down to the inside. So it's going to be Tyler Jackson, Devin Fernandez on your front row for this restart. Jeremy Sexton, James Ellington sitting in row 2. Jackson's going to be able to fire off, and we are going to go back racing here on lap number 37 of 100 here at Oswego. Jeremy Sexton gets a good restart under the bottom. Going to door Fernandez up the track just a little bit. No harm, no foul, however. And Sexton will be able to clear up and take second back away from the half machine of Fernandez. Fernandez is going to look back to the inside. He does not want to let that go easily. Battle allowing T-Jack to get away just a little bit. But no matter, you're fighting for a shot to get past that race leader and haven't figured out who's going to be in prime position quite yet. Still side by side for second place. Fernandez still on the bottom, Sexton on the top. As they're back to the line, it's going to be Fernandez out the line. Sexton looking for any way to hold on to P2 right now, but it seems like Fernandez is just the faster car at this moment of the race. You never know how tires are going to wear and how this thing is going to play out. Fernandez will fully get clear of Jeremy Sexton. Brian Wells will go to 4th, and he'll get around James Ellington in 5th. We're going to see that battle for 6th resume between Steven Stefanski and Justin Johnson. Stefanski seems like he's going to be able to get around the 38 car, as able to get his nose clean every time, but Justin Johnson with that run from the outside will hold on to it, as Fernandez still going to war with Jeremy Sexton. Sexton not allowing him to get away quite like Fernandez would want him to, as there goes Sexton to the inside. We're going to be side by side for second place. Sexton now pushes Fernandez all the way up the track. Not quite going to be able to get the run down low. Fernandez is going to clear once again. And like I mentioned before, this is exactly what Tyler Jackson wants to see when looking in his rearview mirror, as he is just kind of checked out at the moment. Got the fastest car right now. Got second place battling. So he's able to kind of salute the field and say, see you later. That might change as the track wears, but hasn't changed quite yet, as Fernandez will clear with a good bit of a gap now to P3, which is going to be a battle between Jeremy Sexton and Brian Wells as they duke it out for third place. Seems like the lines are working out really well. It's splitting the track well between the bottom, which is working, and the top, which is also working. As you see T-Jack up on the top side making up good ground, but then you also see Fernandez going for a bit more of a low line or a little less of a slider line, and he's also making up ground on that line too. Still a lot of racing left in this one, as we are only on lap number 45 of 100 here tonight. As we got a little bit of a battle going on back. Behind, it's going to be Tyler Ryan going to the inside of Steven Stefanski. He got around Justin Johnson while we weren't looking. So able to make up some ground in that number 47 machine. He'll go up to P6 as of now. One of the cars that was helped out by that caution flag was William Hargraves. He's able to regroup, get a couple spots on that restart, and now he's gunning at the back bumper of Jim Revis. 71 looks to the inside, not quite going to make it work, as now Justin Johnson and Steven Stefanski go back at it once again. These two have been going at it for a long time now. Neither of them giving up the spot, both battling, both wanting that 7th place, as it has been for a good minute now. Hargraves goes to the outside of Jim Revis. Gonna get to the outside of him, try to make that pass work, as battle for the lead. Gap is all the way up to a second now. Tyler Jackson checking out from the field still, and not even allowing this to be a race. Does not want any contest up at the front, showing that he is the class of the field. See Tyler Jackson just way up in the front there. He's gotten cleared by almost a second when you can see him. It's almost like a ghost. Sometimes you can see him, sometimes you can't. As just putting a clinic on the rest of the field. Fernandez able to hold his own, doing a great job in second place. Sexton and Wells going to war there in third, still battling each other tooth and nail. Sexton currently has the spot. Wells trying to take it. Not quite able to work yet, and I see a car spinning in the background. It's Justin Johnson. That's going to be our next yellow, and that's a big wreck. All those drivers going to shoot down to the inside. Not what you want to see, as we just hit halfway. We'll take a look at an instant replay. So I saw him up in the top side. It looked like he maybe just got a bit too much of the wall. Gets the wall and clips that fence once again. Goes for a spin, clips the inside, and gets demolished by Evan Monaghan. Nowhere Monaghan could have gone there, but still a very tough deal. We'll get an onboard from Evan Monaghan here, see what he saw and if there was really anything he could have done there. So you see him. We'll get a whole corner here as he goes through turn number 3, gets down to the bottom. You see Johnson clip that fence, and yeah, just a very tough deal from the 13E. Brings the 357 with him, and the 38 obviously involved as well. All three of those drivers going to go to the pit lane. We'll see if they can, any of them can continue their races. Since we just hit halfway and we have another pace lap to wait here, let's take a look at your mid-race info. Currently 50 laps complete out of the 100 scheduled for tonight. We've had 4 cautions so far. No caution laps quite yet, because caution laps do not count. 15 cars remaining in this one. We've only had 1 lead change. That was when Tyler Jackson took over the race lead from Jeremy Sexton. An average lap time currently 22.52. It's going to be Jackson and Fernandez once again. Going to be 1-2 coming to the restart zone. Tyler Jackson gets the launch. We're going to go back racing for the second half of this JPATGFX 100 here at Oswego. Sexton's going to get into the side of Devin Fernandez. Going to be a bit of contact there. They're going to be able to keep it straight as these drivers fighting tooth and nail. More contact between the 2020 and the half. Lots of hard racing. Hargraves gets a bit sideways in the back. Where did he come from? He is all the way up into P7 at this moment. But these two up front go into battle now as Tyler Jackson again looks to pull away. And more contact between Jeremy Sexton and Devin Fernandez. Those two cannot get away from each other currently. Fernandez in the half, still able to stay in second place. Now he's trying to look to pull away from Jeremy Sexton, trying to look to get a run on Tyler Jackson. It's going to be able to work just a little bit there as he's going to close the gap on the 8 car just ever so slightly. As these 3 top 4 will settle each other out. It's going to be William Hargraves. We're going to take a look at it. He and Jordan Gage are side by side. Both have made a pretty convincing run from the back of the field. Gage managed to get his damage fixed up, so it seems. So able to make a full run at the front now that he is fixed up and ready to go. Tyler Ryan going to be on the inside of James Ellington now. Not quite going to have anything for him as of yet. Top 4 all still single filed out. No one really making any moves quite yet. TJX still up front. Fernandez in second. Sexton third. Wells fourth. All of them searching for lanes, trying to gain some time on each other, but not quite successful as of yet. Ellington's going to shoot now single file behind in 5th. Tyler Ryan in 6th. Here comes Jordan Gage up to P7. Really a great rebound run for him today. Obviously struggled in his heat, struggled in his B main. Now looking in the top half of the field as we're over halfway here. But finally able to make some ground up, going up to the front. Going to still battle side by side with William Hargraves. And now we're going to have a battle for 4th as James Ellington goes to the bottom of Brian Wells. Doesn't quite make it work as Wells gets the run on the outside of turn 4. So able to shoot ahead of the 17. And it seems like Sexton now to the back bumper again on Devin Fernandez. Fernandez has lost Tyler Jackson a little bit here as T-Jack just untouched here tonight. But Sexton trying to run a different line than the half. Not quite working out yet, but try to do anything he can here to gain a bit of time on that Fernandez machine. Brian Wells still running 4th to the outside and clear of James Ellington. Ellington able to make some time on the bottom. Trying to look and see what he can find. Obviously getting side by side every time going through these corners, but Wells able to pull him back on the straightaways. Actually, Ellington does get to his left rear on that straightaway, so slightly able to make more and more ground. It's going to be James Ellington in the 17 on the bottom now. Wells really able to get back clear, so no pass yet, but Ellington showing a lot of speed late in this race. Now Ellington's going to shoot to the bottom. He's going to be there now. This time going to actually throw a little bit of a slider. Almost gets into Brian Wells. Maybe a little bit of contact. Maybe not. As he's going to open up the door for Tyler Ryan to follow behind. Both going to clear. Ryan going to feed a right rear to the back bumper or the front bumper of the 86. Not sure Wells is going to like that. But either way, they stay clean for now. And it's going to be Ellington up to 4th, Ryan to 5th, and battle for 6th. It's going to be Gage. Wells just lost 3 positions, gets freight trained back, and falls from 4th to 7th. So a hard couple of laps there for the 86 machine. And Gage gets into that fence again. We've seen how tumultuous that fence has been for these drivers, so lucky that he's able to keep it straight for now. We'll go back up to 2nd place. Tyler Jackson up in front. And we have another yellow. It's going to be the 77 ball of Ethan Harrison once again. I saw he was passing by. He was just in front of the leaders. Good ways back from the field in that iconic 77 ball paint scheme. Oh, just going to enter too high and clip another fence. Barrel roll and end up on his roof. Lands back on his tires, but will bring out the caution flag. Honestly, should have been the red flag as that driver flipped over onto his lid. We'll get a replay from the onboard of that 77 ball. Be able to see what exactly happened. But that was a weird fence to hit. See him get into the corner here through turns 1 and 2. Gets a little high and clips the wall. Actually, he didn't hit a fence. He just hit the wall hard and goes over onto his lid. Lucky that no one hit him there, but everyone manages to go underneath and keep it clean. Pace truck lights are going to go out here as we sit on lap number 65. And these two up front have been able to hold pretty well. Take a look at your lap sled. So, I mean, you can see that Jackson just absolutely dominating this race. 46 laps led to Sexton's 14. No one else has led a single one. As it's going to be Tyler Jackson getting the launch off of turn number 4. And we're going to go back. Green flag racing once again here at Oswego. TJ going to make a nice convincing turn into T1. As going to be followed by Jeremy Sexton and Devin Fernandez. They're going to go side by side. 3 wide right behind him. Tyler Ryan to the bottom of Jordan Gage, James Ellington. Bit of contact there. Sexton's going to be able to clear Devin Fernandez. They're still going to stay 3 wide. Ryan sideways on the bottom. Ellington into the outside wall there in turn 3. As this is about as close a racing as we'll see at this racetrack. As still 3 wide, heck of a battle, and these guys giving each other just enough room to make it work. Ellington's going to stay on that high line, and it seems like Gage going to have the run to get past both of them. He's going to shoot through the middle there and clear up into P4. Ellington hard into the outside wall. Ryan going to get put to the outside of William Hargraves, and Ellington into the outside wall hard. So we're going to move on to lap number 69 as Jeremy Sexton still sits in your position number 2. Devin Fernandez is going to be in 3rd still. And Jordan Gage works himself up to P4. He's going to have a shot now as he's managed to make his way through this entire field and seems to have more speed left in the tank as he's gaining ground on the 2020 and the half. Gage in the 05 goes to the outside, gonna make a run down the back straightaway as he is all the way there. Fernandez probably watching his mirror now as he sees Gage. He gets into the back bumper of the 2020 Jeremy Sexton, maybe watching the mirror a little too much there as not watching the front windscreen quite enough. Able to keep it straight, however, as T-Jack has pulled a 2.5 gap on the field. These guys just almost getting in their own way too much to really stop that 8 car. Sexton will now run the top line. It's going to work out for him. Fernandez tries the bottom. Not quite to the same level of success. Now Gage will go to the top of 3 and 4. Got to watch that fence as we've seen the type of damage that thing can cause. As these drivers are in a little bit of a stalemate, at least for the moment. That's a big slide job from James Ellington right behind. It's going to be 3 wide again. Tyler Ryan's finding himself in a whole bunch of 3 wide action, but now goes to 2. It's going to be Jim Revis to his inside. Hargraves all over right behind 2 DWR teammates there in the 71 and 57. Here comes Gage to the outside of Devin Fernandez, just trying ever so desperately to make something work. Actually tries a crossover here. The 05 will shoot to the inside and get to the inside. He's going to push the half up the track. It's going to leave Fernandez to try the outside. Going to clip the wall, and that's going to hurt him big time as the 05 of Jordan Gage is going to clear to 2nd place. Or 3rd place, I'm sorry. Jackson's so far up there, I almost forgot he was there. 2.5 seconds up on the field right now. That 8 car is just gone. Going to be back side by side just about for 3rd place between Gage and Fernandez. Fernandez not able to quite get back to him, but here comes Gage. Goes from being attacked to the aggressor. He's going to get to the inside of the 2020, Jeremy Sexton. They're going to be side by side through turn number 1 and 2. As here comes Gage. Ton of speed in that race car. Going to short slider up the track on the 2020 machine. 2020 is going to cross back over. Sexton looking for the bottom on the 05. Jordan Gage make contact. Sexton gets real sideways there. He's going to be able to hold on to it. as Gage now shoots to the front of the field, or the second pack here, as T-Jack is just gone and away. But Gage now going to have clear sights on the 2.5 second gap that is him to the race leader in Tyler Jackson. Devin Fernandez now looking to the outside of Jeremy Sexton. Will get into the wall. That run will get canceled out immediately. More battling going on for P5. Tyler Ryan clears James Ellington for 5th. They're going to go 3 wide once again. Hargraves gets into the side of Ellington. They're going to get all single-filed out other than Jim Revis, who clips the wall as well. As all over each other right now, battling for that final top 5 position. Fernandez now looking to the inside once again on Jeremy Sexton. One goes around in the back. It's Brian Wells. That's going to be another yellow flag. And there goes that big lead for Tyler Jackson. We're going to take a look at the replay here. I saw that driver of the 86 go around pretty quickly going into turn 3. Not sure if he got turned or what happened there. Gets into it and kind of just loses it on its own. Oh, huge impact to the outside wall. Loses his back bumper, unfortunately. And we'll have to see if he can get that repaired in the 86. We'll look at one more replay on that one. Seemed like he tried to run Justin Johnson tight into the corner there and just lost it on his own as they were battling going into turn number 1. Johnson gets to the bottom and yeah, kind of just goes around. I'm not sure if there was a little net code involved. Steven Stefanski gets lucky he misses that one. But Wells will be down a rear end. But shouldn't be enough damage to be terminal, at least I wouldn't assume so. But this changes everything. Tyler Jackson has absolutely been the class of the field. No one's touched him quite yet. The only driver who seems like he has enough speed to even challenge right now is the 05 of Jordan Gage, who was mired back through the field, finally gets up to that second place spot after being deep in the field. Started 16th on this one. Now finds himself in second place. We might finally be able to see a battle for the lead. Tyler Jackson going to get the launch on the bottom, and we're back green flag racing here with just 21 laps to go. Jackson going to get a nice slide jump through turns 1 and 2. Gage is going to clear for second. Restarting in second has been a tough challenge for everyone who has done it, but Gage seems to do it well here, as he is going to go up into second place. Tyler Ryan's going to take over P4. That's the highest we've seen of him tonight, as he's going to be in a 3-car battle between Devin Fernandez and William Hargraves. As seems like Gage, while able to pull forward and almost take Jeremy Sexton with him, not quite going to have anything for T-Jack, at least not yet. Gage might be saving his stuff a little bit, running the bottom, whereas Jackson is digging on the high side, or at least was there through 1 and 2. So not sure how the tire wear is looking as we're deep into this one, but still a good bit of racing yet to play out here tonight, as these guys have put on one heck of a show. Field has seemed to calm down a little bit. It's going to be Hargraves and Fernandez, your best battle closest to the front. That is for P5. As Hargraves looking to make some ground on the bottom, will not be able to get next to Fernandez going into turn 1. So he'll have to go try something else. Ellington hard on the outside wall. Almost gets stuck there up on the catch fence, but brings the car down off of the wall. Will be able to keep it straight and keeps going. A green flag here in this one. Jackson has now been able to pull nearly a second lead on Jordan Gage, as he seems to be uncontested once again here tonight. As well, Gage has been able to make some good lap times. He's pulled away from everyone else. Tyler Jackson is just another step above right now. As Jeremy Sexton now facing some pressure from Tyler Ryan. Ryan's been able to come alive in the end of this race. He's found some speed in that 47 machine. Another JPATGFX race car there for North-South Racing. As he's going to be able to shoot to the inside there on the 2020. Not quite going to clear there. Not quite going to get next to him, but almost 4 wide between. That is a great 4-car battle. Jeremy Sexton in third. Then you got Ryan Fernandez and Hargraves all challenging for that 3rd place spot. As this one's going to play out here as there's a little over a second gap from these guys up to Gage, and Gage has another little over a second to T-Jack. So Gage now sitting on an island in 2nd place, and Jackson able to pull away in the 8. Tyler Jackson in that Selena 52 truck stop. Dirt Warrior Racing, JPATGFX, Dirt Street Stock, number 8. Really getting his fair share of screen time when he's not blinking out of the racetrack. And we have a yellow flag. Oh, it's going to be Tyler Ryan. Just talking about how great of a run he was having towards the end of this thing. That is all going to be reset. Take a look at a replay of this incident. Gets into the corner. Seems like it was between him and Devin Fernandez. Nope, he clips the fence just like we've seen from countless other drivers and goes for a spin. I believe he needs to turn on the broadcast and see what we're seeing up here in the booth, and maybe he would have been able to avoid that incident there. We'll take one more look at this thing and see that that fence has just been catching a ton of drivers out. Clips the right rear and loops it, trying to stay off of the outside wall. A devastating spin there for the 47 machine, as he's going to be hard-pressed to recover from that one. This, however, does give the 05 of Jordan Gage one more shot to try to get to the back bumper of the 8 of Tyler Jackson. Not sure if he's going to be able to make it happen, but this is going to be his opportunity to do so. Pace Truck's lights are going to go out. It's going to be Tyler Jackson, your leader. I believe we're going to be double file here. They caught me out a little bit. I thought I was going to be single file for a second there, but we are going to go double file here as Pace Truck will pull back down to the inside. It's going to be Tyler Jackson on your inside, Jordan Gage on the outside of the front row here. Those two are going to be the first to fire to Go Back Racing. As here we come, we are back. Green flag racing, no, maybe. Weird launch there. That was a huge stack up. Gage tried to time it on the outside, didn't quite make it work. Jackson predicted it and just lifted. 10 laps to go here at Oswego, and we've got another one around. It's Jim Revis going for a loop in the back. Revis will get it turned around, going back straight. But tough to see that happen. Let's look at a whole replay of that entire restart there, because that was kind of funky in itself. So we'll watch it from Revis here, as Gage went and Jackson didn't want to go that early. So in an effort to get Gage to back off, Jackson didn't go, stacked up the field. Revis shoots it in there and gets clipped by Brian Wells. Not sure if Revis came down or if Wells came up, but either way they met and Revis meets the inside wall. One more replay on that restart. As we see Gage starts to go, and everyone in the back seems to lift each other up. I'm honestly shocked that they were able to keep it straight there and get in through turn one, but they do. And the wreck happens just slightly after, as we're going to come back to 1 lap to green here on this caution flag. Going to have 9 laps to go on this restart. Just 9 more times around this half-mile racetrack, which means we've only got 4.5 miles left of racing here tonight. This beautiful virtual Oswego Speedway for the JPATGFX 100. Tyler Jackson launches incredibly early this time, counteracts it before anything could even happen, and he'll take the green flag with just 9 laps to go. Jackson going to throw a nice slider on himself, get up to the top line through turns 1 and 2. Gage, with that restart, going to be able to slot right into second. Here comes Hargraves to the inside on Jeremy Sexton for third. Going to be side by side now, coming down the front stretch. Hargraves not quite able to get past Sexton there. Sexton able to hold a nice line on the outside and make it work through the middle, as this track has really slicked off, as here comes Hargraves down on the bottom, finding a little bit of tack down on the bottom there, but not quite enough to get next to Sexton in the 2020. Meanwhile, Jackson has pulled away once again here tonight. He will be your race leader by just over half a second on Jordan Gage in the 05. Who's been running a consistent second place ever since he got there. Seems like T-Jack up front is the class of the field. Gage is 1 step lower in second, and then the rest of the field is a couple steps further down from them. Sexton there in third, able to run real nice as of now, with holding off the pressure of Hargraves. Running different lines, as Sexton's running the middle through 3 and 4, Hargraves all the way down right next to that inside wall. As we are now just 5 laps to go here in the JPATGFX 100. T-Jack still maintaining that gap up front. Side by side once again for third. Hargraves looking to go back-to-back podiums, as he once again finished third at Lernerville 1 race ago. Looks to do the same here tonight, as he and Sexton battling hard at this point. Another battle going on for 5th. It's Brian Wells, Devin Fernandez going at it, as Wells getting a nice run on the bottom line. Fernandez going to go up to the top, going to give up that position, at least for now. Going to get back side by side with him down the back straightaway, as Wells looks back to the inside. Going to be side by side with Wells, looking to clear here with just 2 laps to go. And Tyler Jackson takes 2 laps to go. Just 1 more mile around Oswego Speedway for Tyler Jackson, looking to pick up his first win in the NSR Challenge Series presented by IgniteSRN. Rounds turn 3 and 4, sees the white flag. Barney the flagman has it in his hands. And we are white flag, final lap here at Oswego Speedway for the JPAT Graphics 100. First start in this series, dominating all race, took the lead and never looked back. It's going to be Tyler Jackson in the 8 car, winning your JPAT Graphics 100 here at the Oswego Speedway. Second place is going to go to Jordan Gage. Rounding out your podium is Jeremy Sexton, as he was able to hold off the hard-charging William Hargraves. Hargraves had a heck of a run from 9 to 4, but not quite able to get into the podium tonight. A great run from your winner, Tyler Jackson, in the 8. Blinks out even in his photo op here, as we will take a look through your official finishing results here at Oswego. Tyler Jackson gonna be your race winner by 1.574 seconds. A big margin of victory here for the 8 machine. Jordan Gage gonna be second place in the 05. Jeremy Sexton gonna come home in P3. William Hargraves will take 4th position. Devin Fernandez gonna run 5th tonight after a really great run. Found himself up front for a large majority of this race. Gonna take home a top 5 position. Brian Wells is gonna be in 6th place here tonight. Justin Johnson in 7th. Tyler Ryan, after that late race spin, will recover to P8. Ken Atha will end up running P9 tonight, and Jim Revis, after his late race spin, gonna round out in 10th. James Ellington will be your 11th place finisher here tonight. Steven Stefanski will be 12th. 77 ball of Ethan Harrison gonna come home in 13th. Last driver on the lead lap. Evan Monaghan will be your 14th place finisher, with Derek Rice, Ron Mertens, Seth Castle, and Thomas Davis rounding out your field. Well, we have got interviews up on the docket here tonight from your top few drivers. So we will pull them into the booth and get to talk with our front runners here tonight. First off, we got our race winner, Tyler Jackson. Hey, Tyler, this is Josh in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, I got you.
Well, congrats, man. Heck of a run tonight. You took the lead early and didn't look back. What was the key to getting it done tonight?
Yeah, I just wanted to get out front and set my own pace and not have to follow somebody. You know, it kind of messes with your rhythm. Yeah, and then just didn't really know what lane to run. Thought maybe the bottom would come back in, but I think the bottom's just too abrasive on the right rear when it slicked off like that. So just kept running the slider line and trying not to tag that wall on the exit of the corner.
Absolutely. I mean, you definitely figured it out here tonight. A lot of yellows, especially coming through with about 10 laps to go there. Was that worrying you at all, as it was giving everyone else a shot to come get you right in there on those restarts?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I had a pretty decent lead every time the yellow would come out, so it kind of sucks stacking them right back up on you. I was actually just worried the line was going to change. Sometimes the line changes under caution, and you next thing you know, you go make that same lap that's been fast, and somebody blows your doors off. I knew Jordan probably burnt his stuff up coming through the field, I would imagine. So that was kind of helped, knowing that he probably didn't have the tire I did. Yeah, and then that one restart there, he went early, and Jeremy was in the back of me, and I thought we were going to stack everything up, but luckily somebody got stacked up in the back. But yeah, just was trying to mix it up on him. The leader's got to do something different. Can't show him the same thing every time.
Absolutely, yeah. Can't let him get a jump on you there. Well, congrats again. Before I let you go, do you got any sponsors, family, friends you'd like to thank for helping you get it done tonight?
Yeah, everybody at DWR, Salina 52 Truck Stop, Piss Jug Man, Patterson. I know he was sponsoring this race. He makes this ride look pretty good. And then my parents for watching, any friends and family that are watching, and all the competitors and everybody that watched. And this is my first show with you guys, and really enjoyable.
Awesome, man. Well, appreciate the kind words, and yeah, congratulations again on your run tonight, and we hope to see you again up here in the booth soon.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good night. That was Tyler Jackson joining us in the booth, your race winner here in the Salina 52 Truck Stop Dirt Warrior Racing JPAT Graphics machine here. A heck of a run for him. Now we will go to your second place finisher. That would be Jordan Gage in the 05. Hey, Jordan, this is Josh in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Jordan, congrats on a good run tonight. You had to come from the back to the front a numerous amount of times. First off, I'd like to see if you can walk me through your heat and B main there that kind of got in incidents in both of them. What were you thinking coming into the feature starting so far back?
I was thinking we probably should just not race and go home so I don't junk another race car, but I don't know. In the heat, I felt fine, but I just don't know if it was the way Brian entered the corner because he hit the wall, and then I just kind of, followed him like you can't see it. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of driver error no matter what. I can't really make an excuse for it, but and then in that B main, we were running behind Will, and I was just like, I can't pass him on the bottom. I got to find something else, and we finally found something else and pulled up alongside of him, and that's the first time I ever felt a right rear wheel hop like that. It broke the left front and shot me up into the wall and broke the whole car. So, but going into the feature, it's 100 laps. I wasn't that far back. I think it was still like 15th, and I don't mind a little back road challenge every now and again. The only thing that sucks about it is when I got up to second, I didn't have anything left in the car. So, but I don't know. Other than that, it was a pretty good race. Like at the end, we just kind of held on and ran second. I knew it was either win it or lose it on a restart, and I just couldn't quite time it. I thought I had one. I just saw a little tweak in T-Jack's right front, so I went, and he didn't go. So that kind of stacked it all up there, but, I knew that was my one shot, was to run even with him into 1 and 2 and keep him from running the slider line.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that on the broadcast, you trying to get that jump on the start. Didn't quite work out. With the tire saving through the field there, you had to, like we said, make your way through the field. Was there a key to saving your tires to try to have something at the end for T-Jack, or you have to burn your tires up too much to get through the field?
I'll tell you one thing. I always have this saying, I came here to race 100 laps, not 50. So I didn't really save tire. I kind of ran the bottom for a little bit, and then I don't know. I was running the bottom and then would get pinched down into the wall and then have to use a fast repair, and then the same thing would happen again. But so I really didn't save tire. I just kind of went, just because I also know that when the track gets so slick that the passing is gone. You can't pass anybody. You have to have track position. So I knew starting 15th, which isn't awful, but I knew I had to get up to the front. That didn't really work out. I don't think we got there to like lap 60 or 70 something. But other than that, the tires didn't feel too bad, but I definitely didn't have as much as Tyler said he did.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, still a heck of a run here tonight, going from back to front. I believe you were the hard charger here. Before I let you go, do you have any sponsors, family, friends you'd like to thank for helping you get it done tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank everybody at Cocky Floyd. They kind of had the work cut out for them. I went through 6 cars probably this race. Ethan Johnson Racing, JPAT Graphics for the design, Gage Farms, everybody over at the kennel, all the sextons and whatnot for helping me out day in and day out, and that's about it.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight and chat with us in the booth. Congrats again on your second place run. Hope to see you again here in the booth soon.
Yep, thanks.
All right, that was Jordan Gage, your second place finisher here tonight in the Gage Farms Cocky Floyd Consulting Dirt Street Stock. And last but certainly not least, we will get your third place finisher here into the booth. It's going to be Jeremy Sexton. Hey, Jeremy, this is Josh in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, congrats on a good run tonight. You came home P3, took home a podium. Bit of a disconnect between you and the top two there. Was there anything you had there to try to make up the ground on them? Were they just kind of in another league tonight?
Yeah, I just cooked the tires, I believe, too early. Should have just rode a little bit instead of trying to race that early. But here lately, after this update, it seems like 90% of everybody's tires wear about the same. So I was figuring if I didn't go, then I'm going to be battling on a black track trying to pass people. So I figured position early would be more important, but I don't know. Just it's totally different than this track's ever raced in my experience anyhow.
Absolutely. So you're trying to save tires there, but hold on to track position at the same time. A lot of good battling throughout the field. I know you were going toe-to-toe with a bunch of guys tonight. What was the key to being able to hold them off and keep your track position up at the front?
I don't know, man. Just maybe being more consistent. I really don't know, because I didn't have the speed I would have liked to have.
I get you, though. Still did a great job holding on to that third place and keeping those guys behind you while trying to save your tires as much as you could. Before I let you go tonight, you got any friends, family, sponsors you'd like to thank for helping you get this podium here today?
Yeah, first and foremost, God. Without him, can't do nothing. My wife dealing with me on here all the time. All my guys over at the kennel that race with us, Brian Wells, Justin Johnson, Jordan, pretty much everybody of half this field looks like. I know I'll miss somebody. Derek Rice, Ellington, Ken, Jay Pulliam, all them guys have recently started hanging out with us a lot and racing. JC and everybody with Cocky Floyd, obviously. Ethan, Jordan Gage, obviously. Just, I don't know. Got to figure this tire model out a little bit and how the tracks are racing now. This is like one of my favorite tracks and raced it a lot, and I've never seen that like wash up to the middle of the slick and turn back down and be fast like that. It's usually bottom or deep slider like T-Jack was running.
Yeah, definitely a different track tonight, but still able to get a solid run, and I'd like to thank you for coming up and talking to me in the booth. Thanks for coming out and showing up tonight in the NSR Challenge Series, and hope to see you back in the booth soon, Jeremy.
Yeah, man. Thank you. And I need a new car, so I need to get you back to work.
Oh, yeah. I'll be on it.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you for all you do, buddy.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Jeremy.
I can't forget JPATGFX. So I'm talking to you, and I'm going to forget you for always giving me looking good, man. Hell, all three of us in the top three had your cars.
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, appreciate you guys for coming to me for the wraps and joining us on the broadcast. So, to see you soon.
No problem, man. Yep, thank you.
Awesome. That was Jeremy Sexton. Appreciate him taking the time to talk to me here in the booth. Both his kind words about the broadcast and for JPATGFX, sponsor of tonight's race, in conjunction with a sponsor who would like to remain anonymous. But that was 100 laps here at the Oswego Speedway here for the JPATGFX 100 here tonight. So awesome racing here around this half-mile racetrack, and just exactly what you want to see for a long race like this. Closing thoughts, appreciate every one of these guys for coming out, showing up to the NSR Challenge Series, and being a part of what we're putting on here. We can't do it without you for coming out and racing with us, and can't do it without you fans at home. Thanks for tuning into the broadcast with us and sitting with us for a couple hours here to watch a beautiful race here at the virtual Oswego Speedway for the NSR Challenge Series JPATGFX 100, presented by Ignite Sim Racing Network. This has been the Ignite Sim Racing Network in conjunction with the NSR Challenge Series, presented by Ignite Sim Racing Network. My name is Josh Patterson, and we'd like to thank you for joining us tonight, for coming out and watching the broadcast, and we wish you have a fantastic evening. Hope to see you next time, and this is Ignite Sim Racing Network signing out.